to the show.
And to you and to the listeners.
Yeah. It's that time of year where we all get to just chill a little bit, relax, be with the ones that we love. So where's
you kidding? Christmas is stressful.
Well, all the run-up to Christmas is.
That's true, but Christmas Day, you're right. You just eat and lie down and eat.
So where is Christmas happening for you this year?
This year, I'm not entirely sure.
It's vary wildly from the ones that we do here, not only in the UK, but around Europe as well. What would a Melbourne Christmas entail?
Okay, Christmas at my family's house. Well, firstly, it's amazing now that we've got the young kids in the family, my nephews, so that's a lot of fun. But all the relatives pile over. Relatives. That's Australian. Sorry, my Aussie just went... I'm talking about Australia. Okay, rellies. The rellies roll over and we all have lunch, get the barbecue on. I'm normally shelling prawns or something like that. The weather could be anything. I mean, it is summer, it's meant to be hot, but in the last 10 years, I guess, some of the Christmas days have been like 40, 41 degrees. And then raining at the end of the day. I mean, 41 degrees is kind of asking for it. It's a pressure cooker, and then, of course, something's got to give. So, yeah, it can be all sorts of different things through the day. But I think of Christmas in Australia, and I think of that last-minute rush around to get all the presents, and, you know, I'm helping my mum wrap things, and she's saying, oh, just whiz down the street. She's like a chicken with her head cut off. She's running around like crazy, trying to juggle everyone and everything. So I just like, can I help? Can I do this? Can I do that?
You become her assistant?
Kate, I would have to say yes. I am her able-bodied assistant.
I love that.
Christmas.
You spent all year being an international icon, and on Christmas Day, the mummy's little helper.
I am. Yeah, I love it though. It's so great.
And what about your shopping? Because I would imagine it's not easy for you to kind of navigate, you know, the shops of London at Christmas or at any time of the year.
I don't think it's easy for anyone at that time of the year. My sister, for example, she's very organised with presents, very methodical about it. Whereas the other Minogue, myself, I'm very haphazard, and I kind of have a scrappy list going, and then I'll lose that list and I'll get another list. Then we go back to the aforementioned subject of racing around like a mad woman the day or two before Christmas, getting all those last minute things. So I'm kind of organised, but don't have it nailed like I imagine my sister will this year.
No. Now, obviously, you know how the show works. We've explained it to you, but just to reiterate, over the next 2 hours, here's what you can expect. We've, with your permission, encouraged the Radio 2 listeners to call in and ask you anything. Anything. They've also been put in charge of our playlist today, so all of the songs that we're going to play are pertinent to you in some way, and they'll give you their reasons why.
Oh, brilliant.
You've also...
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's nice. I think you'll enjoy it. You've also agreed to bring in some of your own song choices and why they're kind of special or important to you.
Merry Christmas.
You're through to Kylie. What would you like to ask?
My question is, if you had a Monday to Friday 9-to-5 job, what do you think it would be and why?
Ooh. What do I think it would be? In my dreams, I would be perhaps a graphic designer or interior designer, because they're two things that really fascinate me. But I used to think when I was finishing school, I would maybe go into business or do business studies, or at least get a step in the door by doing secretarial work.
A proper job?
Yeah. And then I realised, me being a secretary, I would be posing, doing the filing and like shimmying across the table to get this or that, and I thought that's probably not going to work. I wouldn't be that efficient.
So you're saying you were basically unemployable?
I am unqualified to do anything except perform. So I'm not answering your question very clearly, but there you have it. My dream job and possibly my
interior design. Marie, would you let Kylie come around and do your place up?
Yeah, that's fine. You can come and do my place. That's fine.
Awesome.
No problem.
Awesome.
No problem.
You are a workaholic, aren't you? That work ethic of yours, where does it come from?
Well, I'm told this all the time that I am, and I don't really know any different. This is just what I do. So I don't know, what do non-workaholics do? What is their week like?
Work less. But you've never... I suppose a lot of people, especially people, you know, when they go to buy their lottery tickets every week, they think, if my ticket comes in, that's it, I'm packing up work, and I'll be on a permanent holiday, and that's just never appealed to you, has it?
No, but if my lottery ticket did come in, maybe I'd take some time off. But I don't know, my job it's become a lifestyle as well as a job.
Your professionalism, that sense of must do the job to the best of your potential, that's never left you. Through the years that I've worked with you on and off, I've never heard a hint of criticism about you, that you've been late, difficult, that you've even asked for anything today. By the way, just so you can confirm this, Kylie's asked for warm water, that's it. And you and I have both been around people that aren't as easygoing and as laid back as that. So what stopped you becoming a difficult diva?
I think it's because I started working at a young age, and I started working with a lot of other people. It wasn't about me. It wasn't focused around me. I was an actor on set. You have to be on time. You have to know your lines. You have to work with everyone. You have to know your crew. That was my education. So it seems perfectly normal to me that all those things are right and proper. I mean, I've worked on sets where, or even with some of my touring crew, that they're amazed that I know their name, and I'm amazed that they should think that I shouldn't know their name. It takes the team around you to support you and build that stage for you so that you can get on it. It's very basic.
Well, it is, but a lot of people lose sight of that because, you're a solo artist, so but you don't think like an island, you think like a team leader.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Marie has chosen our next song for you. And Marie, you're still on the line. So would you like to tell us the song you've selected and your reasons why?
I've selected Copacabana by Barrett Manilow because this is one of the things that sticks out in my mind when I went to CX 2008. And I love the whole show and the way it was done. It was absolutely brilliant and it just sticks in my mind.
Marie, I've got the biggest smile on my face. That was not what I was expecting to come out as our first song, but yeah, that was a lot of fun on the X tour.
Especially from school. So what he wants to know is, what were your happiest years when you were growing up? And have you always been following a path to lead you to where you are today?
I think I have always been following this path because I started music lessons when I was about 4 with a bunch of other snotty 4-year-olds, all kind of clanging different instruments and things in a little music class. And I went to dance class, like jumping around in the tutus and things like that. I tried some tap, jazz, ballet. And my mother really wanted to introduce all of us kids to the arts. And if there was anything we didn't like, then we weren't pushed to do it. The one instrument I stuck with for a number of years was piano. And again, I didn't have to do the exams, so I couldn't rate where I was as a pianist, so I didn't learn to read music. If you put music in front of me now, I would have to really stop and kind of go,
do you still play?
Every good boy deserves fruit. I really learnt by ear, and I'm still like that today. I'm a really good mimic. I can learn things very quickly. I can forget them easily as quickly. And when I was a kid, this is going to link into one of my favourite memories as a child, a house we had in a suburb called Wanturna in Melbourne, and we had an upright pool out the back, and there'd be, if I think about it, I can smell the huge chlorine filter like bobbing around, and my dad having to put the hose in and just waiting forever for this pool to fill up. So there was the house down the street that had the inbuilt pool, and that was very, very fancy. We just had the really lo-fi version, but we had the best time there. The 3 of us kids would run out and do whirly-whirlies in the pool, and you'd go faster, 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 and then someone had to yell, now! And that was when you turned direction you're trying to go against the current. Leap out of there, have some watermelon, go and lie down on the footpath outside and see you bathe the mark. I mean, this is all because we have our big school holidays at Christmas time and it's summer for us.
Yeah.
The summers just seem to go forever. So it was those would be my favourite memories. And it was around that time, because I know it was in the same house, that I used to daytime fantasise that the parents of the couple who lived next door to us, they had one son. And I used to just dream, if he was a record producer and he would hear me sing. Crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old are you at that point?
I was probably, I'd say about 8, 9.
So very young still, knowing really what you wanted to do.
I was totally seduced by Grease, the musical, around that age, because I didn't know one person.
Oh, that's scary. How old were you then? Is this going to like secondary school here?
Yes, it was 11 or 12.
That's a really tough age. So you're constantly having to find ways to make yourself fit in.
Yeah.
A good life lesson for what was to come, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny how those moments just stay with you, though, isn't it?
I think it's terrifying when you have to start a new school, especially not knowing anybody. Those feelings never leave you, do they?
First year of high school.
And it wasn't just you that was doing all of the singing and dancing at home, because Danny was also out there doing her thing. In fact, ironically, she became a star at home thanks to a talent contest.
Yeah.
So she really is qualified to sit in that chair on the X Factor.
She is. I mean, amazingly so. And I love seeing old footage of Young Talent Time. Young Talent Time was a show, much like X Factor, the whole family would sit around and watch. And it was very decent entertainment for the family, and there was contestants, so you could see someone go through. So she certainly earned her stripes on that show.
And your parents obviously were very supportive of this. Did they have to give up a lot of their time, as so many parents do, to kind of shuttling you around, sewing costumes?
My mum did, yeah. Luckily, she loves that kind of thing. But I remember my mum having to work so hard, drive her here, drive her there, pick her up, da-da-da. All the parents would have to accompany the kids everywhere.
And today, still, your parents accompany you.
They do.
You take your mum on tour, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I guess because I took mum on... she's been on every tour with me. That kind of makes up for the time that she wasn't there when she was racing around doing Young Talent Time stuff.
Well, our next song has been chosen for you by Annie Sampson. She's in Northamptonshire. She says it's Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Oh.
And her reason for this is because you light up a room with your smile. She's been a dedicated music fan for 20 years and thinks that your music and your demure are like sunshine. So here they are, the Beatles, the Fab Four.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I said.
What's your question for Kylie?
My sister Kath and I are very close, and we laugh at the silliest of things sometimes, and people don't always really get it, what we're laughing at. Out of the limelight, are you and Danny very similar to that?
We definitely have family jokes that would mean absolutely nothing to anyone else. So I can't really share them with you because it would just end with a really awkward silence, I would think. Yeah.
But I suppose there's a shorthand that exists between siblings, isn't there?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
And my brother in the middle as well. I mean, there'll be something that we can say and you need to say no more, you know.
How does Brendan fit into the dynamic of all of this?
He is like the glue. He's the one that when Danny and I and I know this is true for both of us, when we've been a bit overwhelmed with everything, we would both turn to Brendan because he's very, very solid character. Very calming. He has never had any desire to be the other side of the camera, and yet he understands the business because he's a cameraman. So.
Yeah, it all helps. And do you find that with your sister, Sue, that you two kind of help each other out, you balance one another?
Definitely we do, yes, yeah. Well, she's my best friend, definitely.
Oh, that's so lovely.
I suppose it's difficult for you and Danny because at times you've lived on different sides of the world, but, you know, you've retained that intimacy with your relationship.
Yeah, and we're used to life just being like this and not knowing exactly where we're going to be the next week or the next month. We had a really beautiful moment a few years back when I did my Showgirl Homecoming tour, and she came and sang Kids with me for, I think, maybe 3 or 4 nights she did that, and that was really so great. You know, it was after going through the lows of illness and just both of us being able to hug each other and do what we do, and it was just gorgeous.
And wasn't that the first time you'd performed together since probably Young Talent Time? Because you'd always resisted, hadn't you?
Great.
What's your question, Mark?
Is there anything you regret doing?
Oh, how long have you got?
About an hour.
Yeah, of course, there's many moments I can think of where I've made a decision, sometimes knowing deep inside myself, in my core, knowing that it wasn't a good decision, but for XYZ reason, I went ahead and did it. So I don't mind making mistakes. That's part of the journey, as long as I recognise
and learn
when I've done
them.
something that was somewhat regrettable. Because regret it's such a heavy emotion to carry around, so I don't like to dwell on any of those things. I don't think I would be human if I could say I have no regrets.
I certainly don't think you'd be here without regrets, because the reason you're still holding